This is God Ass here to clear up a few things. First of all, we're going to start off. I'm not bitter and I'm not jealous. Yes, I'm a bit angry. I'm upset because I feel that I gave my time and life to something that just wasn't right. Now, again, I don't know how you're doing things now, but I know how it was when I was there. And yes, things change. I understand that. I can understand that completely. But I'm not bitter and I'm not jealous because titles mean nothing to me. Because you have people with titles that ain't doing nothing with them. I've seen ministers chase women, do things that ministers shouldn't do, even heard them say things that ministers shouldn't say. So a title don't mean nothing to me. I don't care who you elevate. Don't mean nothing to me. What does mean something to me is if you elevate a devil, it's still a devil. You know, some of y'all go on to say God got to use what he have. Nah, sometimes I feel that's an excuse to elevate an individual that shouldn't be elevated. And sometimes elevation is used to keep people quiet, to stop them from talking about something they don't want you to talk about. I'm not going to be a part of neither one of that because if it's wrong, it's wrong. I'm going to say something. Some of y'all saying that if he was back here, he would be this, he would be that. No, I wouldn't. Because I feel me having a title, somebody's going to try to control what I say and what I do. Someone's going to try to stop me from speaking up against that. That's not right. And some of you say, no, that's not true. Yes, it's true. Because we can use the videos that came out. A lot of y'all want to know who it was putting them out. Why do you want to know if it's true? Correct the situation, talk about it, and move on. But y'all don't want to do that. Y'all want to stone them. Y'all want to crucify them. That's the only reason why you want to know. See, I have watched and heard things happen that should not have happened. And even when I tried to address them, some of the answers I got was, yeah, we know they're doing it. But if you think we're going to do something about it, you're wrong because their lineage go too far back in the church. Their lineage go too far back. I knew these people firsthand. I watched them. I watched them growing up. So I knew what they did. I knew what they were doing. Nah, I'm not bitter. I'm not jealous. But again, I am upset. I'm disappointed because I was taught something almost my whole life. Well, I was taught something my whole life. And then standing back and looking at it and watching it, it wasn't what I thought it was. Now, I don't expect for things to be perfect. Nah, nothing's perfect. We have flaws in everything. But I do expect situations to be corrected and handled properly. And that wasn't being done. So y'all can go ahead with that. He just jealous. He just wish. No, I don't wish anything. Because me being who I am, I say whatever I want. I do whatever I want. You know, you told me Jesus made me just what I am. This is what I am. You also told me that God is sitting in his kingdom. So why would I need a title? A lot of y'all have titles and ain't doing nothing with them. Who are you helping? Who are you helping? No one. Because you see someone in distress or someone in need, you turn your head. That ain't got nothing to do with me. And some of y'all would say, well, y'all, you know how they are. If you say something to them, it doesn't matter. If you have a license and you call yourself a man or child of God, were you not told when you were given them license, fear not men's faces, what they may say or do unto you? So it shouldn't matter how you think they will react. Only thing that matters is doing the job. See, some of y'all have titles just to have a title, just to say, I am this, I am that. That never mattered to me. Not at all. And it still don't. Not at all. And I have lost a lot of respect for a lot of people who I know things went on, know things have happened, and they did nothing about it. Some of y'all I have talked to and tried to talk to about certain situations. You don't even want to discuss it. You beat around the bush. You avoid it. And you'll talk about, well, you just got to have faith. You just got to have faith. Well, don't your book say faith without works is dead? That's just what it say. Because if I have faith my car would get me somewhere and I don't crank it, I don't put it in gear, we ain't going nowhere. So your faith and you ain't doing that means nothing. It's nothing. You know, when things come out and get exposed, and instead of correcting them, talking about them, you throw distractions. Now, when those videos came out, I'm hearing people say, well, oh, they cowards. They cowards. You know, they won't show their face. They won't let you know who they are. Why would they? Because the only reason why you want to know is so you can crucify them. So you can make them feel bad for exposing what happened. You ain't trying to correct the situation. You don't want to get it to get better. You just want to protect what you so-called believe in. Now, your teaching made me this way. And I'm going to tell you how it made me this way. Back to that saying, fear not men's faces, what they may say or do unto you. I don't care what you think, how you feel. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And I'm going to say something about it if it's wrong. I'm not looking for your favoritism. I'm not looking for your friendship. Because if you was a true friend, and I tell you something bothered me or something was wrong, we would correct it. But that's not what a lot of y'all about. Y'all about hiding it and protecting it, damaging people more than you are helping them. We're going to hit this real quick. You know, there's things that have happened. We're going to go on alcoholics and addicts. I'm an ex-alcoholic and I'm an ex-addict. Do you know the reason why some people use drugs or alcohol is to escape some of the things they went through? Now, some of them will say, well, you got to be stronger than that. How strong are you? You're not strong enough to stand up. Were you strong enough to help them? No. You'll tell them to deal with it. Instead of teaching them how to deal with it, you just tell them to deal with it. What type of support system is that? You know, I have been to individuals in the church for help, even with my marriage. Oh, we don't do domestics. Why the hell am I here? I had one individual, and I have the utmost respect for that man. One who questioned why, asked the question, what is being done for him to act that way? None of the rest of y'all did that. Y'all blamed me for everything. So in blaming me, you taught me to stand in the fire, to embrace it, to not let it destroy me, but make me stronger. And in making me stronger, it made me question a lot of things that was being said and done. Now, y'all talked about, and always talked about, different organizations, others, who messed with little boys, who messed with little girls, and y'all beat that organization into the ground. But when it comes back to you, you want to shut it down. When you have young ladies trying to express how they being mishandled, oh, they crazy, something wrong with them, or they on drugs. Well, if they are on drugs and they had a minister or someone that called themselves a man or child of God taking advantage of them, wouldn't that be the reason to use? Because you're not helping them. You're not doing nothing to guide them through the trauma that they're going through. You telling them to just deal with it. I ain't with that. You know, I've heard of people taking their lives. Now, I know things people don't want me to know. That's because some people will talk to me because I do try to help. Because I know what it feels like to want help and need help, and there's no help there. You know, we're going to hit this first. We're going to talk about God sitting in his kingdom. You talking to someone who's got off drugs and alcohol, cold turkey. No substitutes, none of that. Because I use God sitting in his kingdom. He gave me what I needed to stand. He gave me what I needed to pull through. Now, some of y'all, I was trying to seek help from. Y'all didn't do shit for me, but made me feel worse. Look at what you doing. Look what you doing to your family. So I had to be isolated, taken away from y'all, made to sit down alone and deal with my demons. Because we're going to speak the truth, some of y'all were part of my demon group. You preaching and saying one thing and showing me another. You know, an individual take their life. First thing y'all want to say, oh, they was on drugs. They got off into this. They got off into that. When they were crying out all along for help, but you didn't help them. And you want me to support a system like that? No, I refuse. I refuse to do it. Because that's not God. God has nothing to do with that. Y'all treat God like a hitman. If you don't do this, he gonna strike you down. Well, if God is sitting in his kingdom, if God is in his kingdom, you convincing that person to strike themselves down. You're convincing them to take their life because you told them if they don't do the right thing, God gonna get them. Now they done been abused, raped, molested, taken advantage of, and ain't nobody helping them. So you literally convinced them to take their life because you taught God ain't up there, the devil ain't down there in his kingdom. You see the mental games that you're playing with people's lives? And you think that's right? You say Satan's kingdom must come down. Now all these problems occur. And you try to hush it, keep it quiet, hide it. But my mother always said what's done in the dark is going to come to the light, whether you like it or not. See, right now, it's sunny, nice out, but darkness is coming. But after that darkness, light is coming again. So no matter what you do and how you do it and how you dress it, it's going to come out. So why not just deal with it, handle it? See, my parents used to have a saying that said, when problems come, it's best to deal with them. Because if you put them on the back burner, you set them aside. When they come back, they're going to have auntie, uncle, cousins, nephews, friends, enemies. It's coming back with more. It ain't going to be just that one problem you set back there. It's going to be a number of problems and situations because you didn't handle or deal with it. You didn't even address it. You swept it under the rug, hoping and praying that it'll go away and no one will never find out. But God is sitting in his kingdom. It's going to come out one way or the other. You know, I see and hear different people talking about the problems and issues that they're having. And the very thing I hear others say, oh, they just crazy. Or they on drugs and stuff. And let's clear up one thing. As someone that used to do drugs, a lot of y'all say marijuana is the gateway drug. It's not. Marijuana is not a gateway drug. You know the gateway to drugs? Your mama, your papa, your brother, your sister, your cousins, your auntie, your uncle, your friends. That is the gateway to drugs. Because half the time we either watch them use it or it's being offered to us by them. But y'all shoot down anything you don't understand. Instead of going in and finding out about these things, you shoot it down. You make it evil. You just got me to the point where I don't believe. I don't believe the way you believe. Now, yes, I believe in God. But see, the God I believe in needs a temple to work through. It's nothing mystical. It's nothing magical. He needs a temple to work through. And again, you told me God is sitting in his kingdom. Your scripture said, ye are as gods. Jesus said, what I do, you can also do. So when I get up and I look in the mirror, even me looking into this camera right now and I see the image of myself, I see a form of God. I don't agree with and like the way that things are being done. So again, understand, I'm not jealous. I don't care about elevations. I don't care about titles. They mean nothing. Isn't the devil, ain't that a title? Ain't Satan, ain't that a title? Ain't Lucifer, ain't that a title? But y'all put them titles out to be evil, bad. And a lot of you have these titles just to say that you have them, just so you can feel important, because you don't feel important being who you really are. Why? Because your free will has been stripped away. The freedom to think freely have been stripped away. You've been made to think and believe that if you don't hold a certain status, you are nobody. No, I don't claim to be the baddest person in the world, nowhere near. But some of y'all won't sit down and talk with me. And I don't have a title. I just seek the truth. You know, we make statements that we can't stand by. And some of you say, well, what statements you talking about? Anytime you claim to be the greatest, let's do it this way. This country claims to be the greatest country that there is. Now, first of all, I support the military because they doing something the government ain't doing. I support the military. Y'all got my utmost respect. Because, yeah, you defend the country because men above you starts something that they ain't willing to go out and fight for themselves, so they send you. Got my utmost respect. But this country claimed to be the greatest country in the world. What do you do for your soldiers when they get back here? Why they got to fight to get their disability? See, you see what I'm getting at? Anytime you slap the greatest on there, you better be able to support that. And some of you so-called religions claim to be the greatest religion out there. What are you doing for your people? Are you helping them? Are you supporting them? Or are you saying it's not your problem? Or are you throwing up distractions to keep people away from seeing the truth? And that's just what I see. That's just what I hear. And I don't agree with it. Not at all. And as far as the Bible goes, yes, it was written by man. I understand that. And it's been interpreted several times. But my mom always told me a drunk can teach you something. And that's what I use that book for. And in using that book, I'm able to see past the BS. I'm able to see past the manipulation. You know, I had a conversation with a lady the other day out where I work at. And she wanted to start talking religion with me, which is a bad mistake. Because I don't believe the way others believe. I don't think the way others think. And she got on the fact of Jesus. You know, Jesus, these miracles, walking on water, all that. And I told her, you know what? That's y'all's problem. Y'all missing the major point in Jesus being taught or told to us about who he was and where he came from and how he come about. Because see, the way I see it, Joseph wasn't his papa. So that takes away the excuse of people saying, well, man, I ain't had both of my parents. So that's the reason why I turn out, you know, to go around hurting and harming people. And he came out of Nazareth, a bad part, which y'all would say, what, the ghetto or whatever. And that takes away the excuse, well, look where I grew up. My hood, we ain't have nothing. But he still was a good person. See, that's the fucking point everybody's missing. Born out of wedlock to a man that wasn't his papa, and he came out of a terrible area. But he still was able to do some good. Even though some people would say, can anything good come out of Nazareth? Shit, that's what y'all said about me and my family. See, that's why a lot of y'all didn't care for us or like us. Because for one, we didn't pretend. Some of us didn't. I'm only going to speak for me. I didn't pretend. I didn't fake. And I'm not a backstabbing individual. Because if I'm going to get at you, you gave me a reason to get at you. And it's coming justly. You know, y'all even speak on karma. And y'all karma, you use it as reap what you sow. Do you not think the things that you're doing and how you're treating people, how you manipulating them, you don't think that's coming back? See, some of y'all think you have diplomatic immunity with God when it comes to these things. You don't. Because see, a wise man told me every tub got to sit on its own bottom. Some also say you lay down with dogs, get up with fleas. I don't agree with what y'all doing. I don't agree with the way y'all teaching it. And it vexes me to the utmost when someone cry out for help that has been taken advantage of, molested, raped, and because it was done by someone that y'all felt was an authority, you labeled them as crazy. You instantly throw them on drugs. Well, if they are on drugs, they're on drugs because you didn't do nothing to help them. They need some type of escape. They have no support. If they're alcoholics, they need some type of escape. But see, a lot of y'all don't know that. A lot of y'all with titles don't know that. Because you ain't really, some of y'all ain't never been through nothing. Y'all ain't never walked through no damn fire of being hurt, being raped, molested, taken advantage of. No, you didn't, because some of you are the ones that's doing it. And when you do it to people, you want them to shut up. Don't say nothing. Shh. I've been watching men try to take advantage of children right in front of me, because some of them I had to tell them out my own mouth, because they was trying to lead my daughter over behind some cars. I ain't gonna tell you the area because it don't matter. But over behind some cars. And I had to go to the door and I told him, if I catch you calling her over there again, you gonna deal with me. See, there's a huge problem. And yeah, now you may be trying to correct it. Now you may be, because the shit done got out of hand. And those of you that have had this happen to you, you don't have to be silent. You don't have to harm yourself. See, they treat you the way they treat you to keep you silent. They use fear to manipulate you into not saying anything. That's an abusive relationship. Everybody knows that. I'm not with that. Not at all. I'm not with hiding the truth on why we have the problems that we have. I'm not with making excuses. But just so y'all know, that's the reason why I rant and rave. That's the reason why I am angry. I'm not bitter and I'm not jealous, because there's nothing to be jealous for. Why would I be jealous over something I don't believe in? I'm free. I think free, I walk free, I talk free. Because God, the real and true God, is sitting in his kingdom. That doesn't make me above anyone. I'm damn sure not below you, because I don't do what you do. I don't support those things. I don't hide those things. I go in after them to correct them, to get rid of them, to destroy it. Now I'm going to say this and we're going to end it. Some of y'all keep saying, again, come back, come back, come back, come back. You do know, and I need you to understand, you do know, and I'm going to put it like this: I am a crooked preacher's worst nightmare. I don't care about your title. I don't care about your position. That means nothing to me. What I do care about is the people's lives you're fucking up.